Hey pals, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be doing some character design. I haven't done much of this on video in quite some time, at least on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a character for my game Insignia, and I'm going to give you a really nice front row view into exactly the process from scratch. I've got a couple of videos set up so we can look at the unscaled preview of a sprite full screen while I'm working, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, let's get straight to it, shall we? So here we have a couple of characters already from the game set up. This is the main character, Armin. This is a blacksmith named Ned. And there are multiple blacksmiths in the game, so we're going to be adding a new blacksmith, whose name I haven't really decided on. It's in the script written as Giovanni, but it might be something like that, Geo something. So let's get straight into the process. The first thing I'll do is work with some kind of a silhouette. I might use this light blue just to get something started. And he's going to be quite a little bit taller than everybody else here. He's a big guy. And I'm just trying to block out a silhouette with as little effort as possible. Just something to look at so that I can understand what I'm looking at here. And I can start making creative decisions based on what's here. It's a lot harder to make decisions on something that doesn't exist. So you have to make something that exists first. And then you can start thinking about, how to update it. And a lot of these sprites in the game, I might, at some point consider putting in some sort of a context. So maybe if I told you a little bit about the character, we might decide for him not to be standing, but I think we'll make the assumption that he's standing. So he's a big guy. He is the engineer. What is a train conductor? This guy is the conductor of a train. And he is also a jeweler. So he's like an engineer / jeweler. He's a big guy, very strong, but also very gentle. So gentle giant kind of character is what we're going for. And here I'm really just drawing shapes and trying to make the shapes work. I want him to have quite a relaxed stance. He's got good posture, but I don't want him to look too menacing. He's not a villain. So that might be an okay start. Let's get some head shape in here. So now we can start thinking about secondary shapes. So I think he'll have some higher pants. I'm using the shade brush here in Sprite. I'm thinking maybe some suspenders or overalls. Nice white t-shirt maybe, or button-up shirt. And he's not blue. He's quite tan though. Maybe that is his base tone, and then maybe the background can be a different color to avoid getting too confused. Nice, I like that. That's really cool. Bit of overlap, create some depth in the character. Very nice. And I think we could go a little bit larger with the body. We're not really showing much shape here. And I don't want him to look too supermodel. He's got a bit of weight on him. Sometimes it's easier just to consider foreground, background on the character. Just split them in half. So I think I'm actually pretty happy with that. So a couple more tips, just final analysis on the sprite. You can see that I really have a distinction between foreground and background elements on the legs, and that helps me create this shape. And this line here is, trying to create a crease that, because it's supposed to be denim, it's not as clear without it. But otherwise, I really am just using this shade and then this shade, blocking in the legs separately to create a sense of foreground and background. And I'm doing the same with the arms. So the arms are one shade lower. Same with the shoulders, and even splitting the face right down the middle with these two shades. The character, I did want them to have kind of like a handlebar mustache, and you'd see me, play around with the different ideas here and there. I just couldn't get the shape exactly how I wanted it, so I thought I just wouldn't go too far with it, just because it didn't really work. In Insignia, all of the characters have very similar shaped faces, so they're all based on the main character, and I didn't want to go like too far from that. So the way that I draw the eyes, almost everybody has eyes that are shaped like this, which is why I kind of push some of these proportions in other areas. These are like the widest arms of any character so far in the game. Everybody else has like, 2 pixels at most. In this case, we've got Ned here. He's got, 3 or 4, but Geo's got what, 5 or 6, 7 pixels width of his forearms. And, that's just saying he's an extra big guy. I thought it would be kind of a little fun nod to like some kind of like early 2000s chain on the jeans. I guess the idea here is that there's like a pocket that's lifted up. At first, this was literally just trying to create some angle around his hips to say where his hips were. And then eventually it became this. I thought maybe since he's, working with precious metals a lot, he might have a bit of jewelry or something. So the chain is just, maybe he's got some keys. The sprite, you're not going to really see it beyond this distance in the game. So insofar as giving him, a bit more something, a bit of metal something, that's all it really needs to do. Maybe later on we can retrofit that to be something more specific to his role. Right now it's kind of just a concept. As far as his size, I do think that maybe he could be even larger. Part of me is thinking like, what if we just took him and made him like 3-4 pixels larger? I don't think that would really hurt, but we'll just have to see how he fits in the scene. And yeah, so here's kind of maybe what he might look like in the scene. It's all very work in progress. The train is this big, it's sort of like a big long caravan that rides around in the desert, like Snowpiercer, but the desert. And the front of the train is shaped like a giant horse head. So this is the character. I'm not sure exactly what the engine room will look like. I think I do want it to open up so that we can sort of see inside there. And then I don't know what I'll put in these living quarters. It's kind of like a little house. He's going to live here. He's going to have maybe a hammock or bed, tools on the wall, maybe somewhere that maybe a dining table or something. And then, yeah, the rest of the sort of engine room, workshop with the pistons going and stuff like that. But there you go. That's a first pass at a character. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.